but not just another live stream. This is a very special one, long overdue. My man, Watty from Watty's channel, aka Damien Riot from Maniac Riot Wrestling. There it is. There. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Doing good. So,
Oh yeah.
you know, a lot of big news with Maniac Riot Wrestling. I want to kind of get just an idea of how you came up with it and what's going on and everything, but I kind of wanted to address the big announcement, the big huge announcement. I was watching you earlier on Kurt's Corner, with Kurt's Corner rather, and I heard the big announcement, huge WWE superstar. Um, can you kind of let us know how that came about, and how you got that huge signing for the new line from MRW?
Shoot. I mean, Bastion Booger. Now, obviously, one of my favorite characters during the 90s. And, the 90s had a lot of these crazy gimmicks. And most of the time, people hated on these 90s gimmicks. But a lot of the things that people hated on, I friggin' loved. Like, I loved, the Mortician that people. But of course, Undertaker. Nobody's hating on the Undertaker gimmick. Let's be
Right.
honest about that. But it's a gimmick. No, everyone was hating on the tax man, which is crazy because I feel like the IRS gimmick is one that freaking worked for Mike Rotundo, okay? But Papa Shango, okay? Who's hating on Papa Shango? I thought that was like one of the craziest and best gimmicks of the 90s. Bastion Booger was supposed to be this gluttonous guy, one of the seven deadly sins and whatnot. But I freaking love that. When he stepped in the middle of the ring, did his little shimmy dance, like I bet the women just swarmed over that. Okay. So I thought, Bastion Booger, he felt right in line with the characters that I absolutely love.
Right.
I talk about my channel all the time. The bigger, heavier guys, I absolutely love. I love the guys like One Man Gang. I love the King Kong Bundys of the world. I love the Kamalas and the natural disasters, the typhoons and the earthquakes of the world. So when you get into guys like Bastion Booger, of course I'm going to gravitate towards, a guy of his stature. And he was just a fun character. Now, obviously, when you had like Fire Ferguson, he made like what was it, like one appearance,
Yeah.
and that was pretty much it. Vince McMahon got the heave ho because a bunch of what was that? A bunch of Catholic Church or whoever got involved and like, no, we don't want this Friar Ferguson being a part of your wrestling your wrestling roster. So they had to come up with a new gimmick. And kind of listening to these podcasts and hearing how the Bash and Booger gimmick came along, what we got here. Kind of like a side note, every time I watch your videos and I see those monster drinks, I'm like, oh, you son of a gun, I'm so freaking jealous. I always get the darn bootleg Aldi stuff, but I never get the actual monsters.
We got Bang, just for the fans out there. Any means or. But continue, man. Continue. Sure.
But Bastion Boogerman, he's like on my list of what I classify as 10. Who are like the 10 gimmicks, the 10 characters that I absolutely covet, that if I'm going to make an LJN line, that I absolutely have to make? And you best believe Bastion Booger, he's going to be like one of the top one, top two, top three guys I'm going to absolutely have to have. And luckily, I met a guy on Facebook who is a professional indie wrestler that's been in the business for decades, who's wrestled all over the world, who's wrestled guys like Crush, who's wrestled guys like Nails, who knows Kevin personally, who knows Abdul the Butcher, okay, who has a Amazon book that's a high seller, who's been in the business and he actually works with the family of Mike Shaw. And how incredible is that? He saw what I was trying to do with Maniac Right Wrestling and informed me about this Mike Shaw Legacy Foundation. I'm like, oh my freaking God. One of my freaking most favorite and most coveted characters.
Yep.
This is a godsend right here. And it actually came to be relatively quickly. So got me in contact with the foundation, and of course Peter has been the representative of the family. So most of my dealings actually goes through Peter Cisco, Peter B Beautiful, the indie wrestler, Peter Beautiful. So kind of let me know like, hey, what the family's looking for. It was very reasonable. Luckily, everybody knows I'm not some super rich guy or anything like that. I'm just, I'm not like some VIP, CEO of a company or anything like that. I don't own my own toy company or anything like that, my own toy shop. Basically, what you see here is just a regular guy who's just a regular old fan and collector.
Right.
And like I said, what they were asking was very reasonable, and it was something I was capable of doing. So
For
finally
sure.
able today to come together, meet them at the request, and finally be able to push this out. I'm excited. Like this is exciting news because this
Yeah.
is a major, in my opinion, a major superstar. Now you may not be eating the Bret Harts of the world or the Hulk Hogan's or the Ultimate Warriors or the Randy Savages, but to me, this is a guy that I covet. This is someone that I care about, and to see what I've gotten through the fan base, through social media, it's been very positive, which has been amazing. So I'm glad to see that other people are thinking as highly as I am. So that's incredible. It's incredible for the line, but it's also incredible for Mike Shaw's family, because as much as I'm bound to make in sales through the sales of these figures, their family is obviously going to benefit as well. So that's going to be a huge for both parties.
All right. Just real quick, I want to say hello to Sister Shadows, my sister Destiny.
Absolutely. Hi, Destiny.
We got Zach. Zach saying hi to us.
What's
Um,
going on, Zach?
eh, Asking how our day was. I think it's a damn good day because you know what? I got the message from Watty. We got Sebastian Burger on Maniac Riot Wrestling, and
Oh
how
yeah.
day can you have? Just real quick, Bastion Booger, definitely one of my favorites for sure. Like I always was in love with his gimmick and just his presentation, and he just seemed like a great wrestling character for sure. Um, we got the chef here, Mr. Chef Robert. Do you have any Goldberg stuff? Well,
Goldberg. I mean, I'm pretty sure I got a number of figures. Mattel Retro. I think they made a Goldberg. XOX Customs. They have their custom LJN Goldberg. I know I have that from Random Treasures, and I'm pretty sure I got some. I'm pretty sure there's a Jack's Pacific Classic Superstars Goldberg out here somewhere. I'm pretty sure I got something like that sitting around. But oh, I know there's a mishmatch. What's that one line? The He-Man WWE He-Man one.
yeah, I guess you.
I know it's one of those mishmatches as well. Dual
Yeah,
lines. I know there's a Goldberg in that, so I have one of those. Not a whole lot of Goldberg. I could put it. I could say that much. So.
yeah.
uh,
Well, the chef was at. Well, the chef was just commenting, Chef Robert, if you will. He was the man back in the day, and I will agree. I mean, that streak,
But
90,
Goldberg,
99. I mean, when he was just running him over, is like I remember seeing the guy when he first showed up, and it was like, who is this dude? Then he just running over people like hundreds of hundreds. But another question I wanted to ask, like, what like inspired you to like start with the line or create the line?
ah, I was prepared for this question, and it's a very easy one for me. This bad boy right here.
There we go.
So, in a nutshell, I think all of us fans who love LJN, I think it's all a dream of ours to have our own wrestling figure. And with today's technology, it is all possible for every one of us to have a wrestling figure in our likeness. And for me to get a LJN made of myself was exceptional.
Yep.
But I didn't just want any old wrestling figure, like let's say a Greg Valentine, or one of those figures where it's just a black trunks, black boots, very simple figure, right? I wanted something special, something that was unique, or something that really inspired me, right?
Right.
So the reason that the military uniform I chose that This one is wrong, obviously. Black boots on an AC uniform, not correct, but we'll talk about that later, maybe. As a former soldier, obviously, military means a whole lot to me. So whether you're active duty or prior service, you're always going to have, special feelings about service members. Anytime you hear a service member die or anything like that, it's like whether you know them or not, their deaths or something impacts you.
Sure.
And so I wanted something that spoke to me. And like I said, putting on the military uniform again in some capacity, that speaks volumes for me. Uh, Being in the military, not just growing up after high school, what it did for me and my wife,
Mhm.
giving me that career, but post military, it going into contracting and still serving military afterwards, overseas for almost a decade. Technically more than a decade. I mean, on and off for about 12 years. Still working overseas, so still providing service for the military.
Mhm.
So I wanted that because that was my life for so long. And I wanted a figure that was kind of like the Series 1 Hulk Hogan. Now, clearly, I didn't quite get the figure made that I wanted, but it was an LJN figure myself.
Right.
And one day, I was doing a live stream and I kind of, was excited and I wanted to show my viewers, hey, the new figure that come in, give a shout out to the custom creator.
Yep.
And my viewers were asking me, so are you going to create your own action figure line?
Right.
In essence, I really hadn't given it, well, I don't want to say I hadn't given it much thought. I really wasn't contemplating creating my own action figure line.
Mhm.
Over the years, over the course of this channel, people always ask me, hey, are you going to open up your own toy store? Are you ever going to start your own action figure line? Because they see this collection and, they're impressed and they think that I have the ability to do so, which is awesome. But I always thought of it as a pipe dream.
Right.
It's not really something that I thought was a plausible possibility. And the more I thought about it, the more people asked me about it, the more they showed interest. Their interest really sparked my interest. And let's be honest, if it wasn't for the viewers, and I know it's cliche, just like just like you say, hey, teachers make the difference in a kid's life. As
Right.
cliche as that is, they really do.
No,
And as cliche as this is, my viewers were the inspiration for starting this line.
hell yeah.
They were the motivation for me.
Yeah.
And so the creation of this figure is basically what started it all. And technically, this was as I think it was Galeno that said, this was the godfather of Maniac Riot Wrestling.
Right.
So this was
Sure.
supposed to be initially the very first release,
Uh-huh.
but it just wasn't the figure that I wanted designed. So eventually, I would like to see this figure remade,
Yes.
but remade the way that I initially envisioned it. If I could get that vision made, I see it being made and released in Series 2, possibly sometime in 2027, if that's possible.
Right.
So,
But
but
yeah, man, first of all, like I know I said it before, but I want the audience to know and everyone should respect you and give you respects for thank you for your service. And
appreciate that.
for real. And so I know that BBA came into the situation. Bone breaking action. For anybody that doesn't know, bone breaking action, go like and subscribe. The guy is extremely talented.
Absolutely.
At myself, and dude like did stop motion with his and whatever. I hope he brings it back up because it's really entertaining, and everything he does is pretty entertaining. This guy's like a character. He's got like an image. He's got like a look about him that's so like unique and cool. I mean, that might obviously answer it might answer the question a little bit, but I want to get it from your perspective. Like, how did BBA come aboard and how did that all come about?
Well, Bone Breaking Action, like I've been watching his channel for probably as long as he's been watching mine, and I think I might have actually seen his videos I could be wrong about this, but I could have sworn I came across his videos probably as early as 2020
Right.
because I think, and again, don't quote me, but I could be remembering incorrectly. But I could have sworn I came across his videos like 2020. We were we moved out of the apartments in Kuwait. We had been moved back on post because of COVID, and I could have sworn I because his videos, the stop motion, those seem familiar to me. But I remember I the time that I really remember, really getting in contact with him is in March of 22. That's when I started my YouTube channel,
Hmm.
or that's when I started posting videos on my YouTube channel. BBA was probably one of my very first people to ever subscribe to my channel. He was definitely the very first person to ever comment on my channel. So think about that.
Right.
Bone Breaking Action has been literally part of my channel since the inception.
Right.
So not only has he been a long time viewer, but then the man has been supporting me from the very get go.
Definitely.
Uh, so even at the very beginning, when I had never made videos before, and I wasn't comfortable filming myself, and I didn't know how to film videos, I didn't know what to talk about, what to say, and I was still getting started. And even to this day, I still when I film videos, I still don't know how to present them a lot of times. So I still may not I feel weird or like, hey, how do I look? How do I sound? Do I stutter too much? Do I pause way too much? Like, do I
I
sound like I still get conscientious, right? I feel like I get better, obviously, as the years have progressed. But man, like I go back and if I were to go back and watch those first initial videos, the fact that he still watched those videos and took the time to comment on my videos and supported me, that's amazing, right? So all these years later, probably hundreds or maybe thousands of comments, he stuck by me. Um, I wanted to include Bone Breaking Action because he had the sort of gimmick and a sort of look that I really appreciated.
for sure.
Now, when I thought of Maniac Riot Wrestling and the whole MRW Maniac Riot Wrestling thing, my viewers actually helped me come up with that name. I didn't come up with it on my own.
Nice.
So again, viewer appreciation, right?
Right. Right.
So, and MRW is just a build off of my initials. So that's an extra help off of that right there with the viewership, taking my initials to create this awesome name for the lineup. So I thought that was pretty amazing.
Yeah, man. In bone breaking action, it's kind of funny with my channel. Like I did a lot of like real wrestling clips. I mix it with music or whatever. Kind of doing it on Instagram now, but back in the day, that's what I was doing. Then I started this fig fed, and this dude bone breaking action shows up and he's commenting, saying stuff like, "Wow, this is cool." And then I look at his channel and I'm like, he does stop motion. Oh man. But it made me appreciate like that he liked what I was doing because I wasn't doing stop motion or anything. Mine
Yeah.
is based on like vocal imitations or whatnot. So like when he was commenting on it, I was pretty honored because when I look back at his stuff, I'm like, man, this guy's talented and definitely like unique. You know what I mean? Like definitely like somebody that stands out from the crowd, not only look wise, but what he's presenting an ice cream cone, instead of, you know what I'm saying? I was like, wow,
That's part of the
he's
gimmick.
so talented, man. He's so creative. But so yeah, bone breaking action. Now, what was the inspiration for the Damien Riot character?
Well, this one, where did I put him? This one was fun. This one was easy actually because 2014 I had just come home from Afghanistan, and I was kind of riding a low because 2014 the military was doing a drawdown. I was contracting out with Mantech, and they were supposed to be pulling out of Afghanistan at that time. And as we know, nobody was pulling out of Afghanistan. They didn't start pulling out of Afghanistan until like what 2021, I think. So,
Yeah.
but so I kind of lost my job with Mantech in 2021. They were doing all these companies were laying off all their contractors, and and I don't think they started, rehiring all these people until like 2015, maybe early mid 2015. So I didn't go back to Afghanistan until May of 2016. So I mean, I was home for about a year and a half,
Yeah, yeah.
probably more than a year and a half. But so I got home around August of 2014, and in October. So for Halloween, I went as the devil, and my wife went as an angel, and she got tickets to Austin for this murder mystery dinner. So I went as Damien. Now, when I think of the devil, there's names like Lucifer, obviously, and I forget the other biblical name that they give the devil other
Right.
than Lucifer, but
Mhm.
whenever I think the devil, I think the name Damien. Like that's to me is an alternate name for the devil.
Sure.
Other alternate name for Satan, alternate name for Lucifer, etc. So my name for the devil was Damien.
Nice.
So it was, and that was exactly what I was wearing the day that we went to this murder mystery dinner.
Hell yeah.
And I'm like, okay, you know what? If I'm going to start this line, I need to come up with some different characters.
Right.
We had the soldier.
Mhm.
I already determined that I was going to make my line different from other releases. Everyone else is releasing wrestlers.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what I would love to do, but that's everyone and their mom are creating wrestlers. Like, how can I be different? How can I be unique that nobody else is creating?
Right.
Nobody else is creating YouTubers.
Right.
What about the YouTubers who cover wrestling?
Hell yeah.
Now, he who shall not be named did do it a little bit differently because he did make a Chris Van Vliet figure, so it's not completely
I
out of the ordinary, but I'm gonna take a little bit of credit for this idea, just a
You
little
might
bit.
might have rushed on that project.
So I'm gonna take a little bit of credit with the LJN idea. Not a whole
Sure.
lot, but just a little bit.
Definitely.
Um, and so I had the soldier idea. I reached out to Bone Breaking Action because you know what? He already has like this perfect gimmick, and
Definitely.
as a friend and as someone who's supported him over the years, why the hell not? I mean, obviously. And of course, I reached out to Jason Up New 80s Revolution
Mhm.
because we already know he had the fan base, and it's not just about, hey, who can I get to sell the most merchandise?
Right.
When I talk about Jason, one thing I like about him is the personal feelings behind it, right? This person over here could have 50 million subscribers, and this guy could have 5,000 subscribers. But this guy with 5,000 subscribers, people care about you on a personal level. His channel was more than just collections, reviews, stuff like that. Uh, what's going on in his life? What kind of struggles is he going through? What's happening with his kids, things of that nature. They care about him on a personal level. So in order to support him, to support the line, they're going to buy his figure. So it's, you got to look at it from a marketability standpoint in that regard. I've been watching Jason for years, subscribed to him for years, watched his videos, right? Been shouting him out for as long as my channel has existed.
Sure.
So I figured Jason would be a really good, would be someone good to include for Series 1 initially when Series 1 was first coming out.
Yep.
And I wanted four figures because I figured, four or five characters originally would have been a good idea. But
Mhm.
who would be a fourth figure that I could include? I really couldn't think of anyone else at that time.
Right.
But this this character, like, I love the look of the devil. I thought that was so amazing. Like, I
Def
wanted this creation. So we ended up going with two of me, which okay. The original design for Series 1 was very simple. Watty Devil, Watty Soldier. And luckily, with the new release of actual Maniac Riot Wrestling, we've altered that so we actually have legitimate names.
for sure.
And when my viewers came up with Damien Riot, oh my god, mind-boggling. That was brilliant.
Okay.
Damien, the name I had for my character back in 2014 to go along with Riot, the name of the company. And how do I address this character? Damien Riot, the prince of Maniac Riot Wrestling, you know? So he's like I kind of consider this to be like the Vince McMahon of the company, sort of so to speak.
Awesome.
So incredible.
Awesome. Dude, that's a like it makes sense because like no kid, you know, like that's awesome, dude. Like I appreciate that character since I saw it. And you know what's funny that you that I kind of like was thinking sort of a Vince McMahon like the boss of it all that shows up and like f's people's like careers up in the Maniac Riot Wrestling. Sure. It's a great character. I like the story behind it, especially like because it's real. You know what I mean? Like even
Absolutely.
if it is like an exaggerated character or whatever, it isn't because you actually like performed as this. You know what I mean? Even if it was in a personal scope or whatever,
Yeah,
it's authentic to that point. The soldier one I definitely like. I hope that comes down the line because that's like that's like true respect to what you've done, and I mean, not many people could do what you did. So that's a great character. I hope it does come down the line for sure. I understand what you're doing. You're trying to like get like a variation, like, some sort of like difference with all the characters. You got the BBA, the huge effing signing of Bastion Booger.
absolutely.
You got your boy Bum Shadows here. But then, down the line, I do hope to see the Watty Soldier because that's really an important figure. And I know you got there's this guy Peter B. Beautiful, right? What's the deal with Peter B. Beautiful?
So right now, series two. And that's the thing. I think I pretty much have series two locked up for the most part. Now, as we know for series one and I want to do series two the same way.
Right,
Series one, we have two YouTubers, we have one indie wrestler, and I'm considering Bone Breaking Action not to be part of the YouTuber countdown. I'm considering him to be part of the indie wrestler,
right,
and we have one mainstream wrestler, one WWF superstar, WWE superstar in Bastion Booger. So in series two, I'd like to do the same thing, right?
right,
Two YouTubers, and so we got Jason Up, 80s Revolution, back on board for Maniac Riot Wrestling.
all right,
He had temporarily moved away shortly for Series One, and
right,
I think initially when this is the old prototypes for anyone that's wondering. We are not going off of any of this. Obviously, this is null and void.
right.
But the original design for Jason Up, uh, we may go with this pose again, but obviously we want to upgrade the figure. I don't know if you saw that,
Oh yeah, yeah, I see him there. Yep, definitely.
but
I did
I
see
mean
that.
it's
Good.
yeah. So I think once he saw that, and this is my personal belief, he may watch this later on, and he may respond in the comments and be like, "No, that's not what happened." Uh, Again, I don't know. I haven't talked to him about it, so I don't know, what the reason is behind it. But my personal belief, I think he wasn't satisfied with the figure that was designed of him, and I don't blame him if that is the reason. I saw the releases, and at the time, I was excited to get the figures in. I really was. I was excited when I first got them in hand. When you get some new figures in, like you are ecstatic to get some new collectibles, especially when they're part of your line, your prototypes. But then once you really start looking at them, talking about them, and realizing that they had nothing to do with your vision, you really had to pivot and move on to someone else, right?
For sure.
And when I went to a different customizer and I redid the two designs, we got a much better prototype, much better design, and this is something I am ecstatic about sending to the factory. This is something that buyers, viewers, customers, collectors, however you want to describe someone, collectors are going to love this. This is worthwhile.
Definitely.
So once this is made rubber and put up next to any LGN, Latuni, Big Rubber Guy figure, Ram Treasures figures, they are going to blend beautifully. So um, now that I think Jason's is right back on board, so BBA has already designed the posters and card backs for Jason. I mean, his stuff is sick. It's absolutely amazing. They made him look like this great big buff freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger type. I'm like, man, I sent him an email today. I'm like, dude, you gotta lay off the steroids. You gotta lay off the steroids.
Too
And I sent him the two pictures. I'm like, man, but if you see the posters, I'm probably gonna post them at some point. But they
bad.
look it looks good. BBA did an awesome job really buffing him up. They look amazing.
I was gonna
Uh,
say, with Latuni, who's a prominent, they make, he makes the LJNs. I've seen a lot of Macho Mans. I've
yeah.
seen he's coming out with Laura Lord. He's got the Everest. He's all over, and he's doing a great job. What influence or what is he working with you? Is anything going on between you guys where he's maybe like giving you some tips or whatever?
Oh yeah. AJ, right since the beginning, he's been helping me try to make sure that I don't get screwed over in the process while
Right,
while undergoing this project. So obviously, one of the big things is, you know, YouTubers. When I broached the subject about creating YouTubers who cover wrestling,
for sure.
the cost of a mold, that's very expensive. The cost of to purchase X amount of figures, because most factories they want you to buy 500 figures. Luckily, the factory that I'm going through, originally I was going to go with like 100 figures. Then I realized, you know what, 100 figures, even if I sell them all out, it really isn't going to be worthwhile. The shipping, tariffs, the cost of the mold, it just doesn't make sense to do it that way. So I have to buy more than just 100 figures, 100 units. So I'm
Definitely.
probably going to start off with at least 250. So he's like he wanted to make sure that I understand the cost that's going to go into it and the likelihood as a new startup, what I'm selling. If I was a new startup and I was selling an Andre the Giant or a Macho Man,
Right.
those are well-known professional wrestlers that everyone is looking to buy. So
Definitely.
it would make sense, for me to sell something like that. But at the same time, everyone is selling Andre. Everyone is selling Macho Man. They've been
Right.
done to death. I don't want to make characters that are overkill. Nobody is thinking about these type of characters.
For sure.
And even if you don't know who Bone Breaking Action is, I think irrelevant. A solid. What do I always argue? Even with random treasures, even if I never heard of a particular wrestler before, I always say a good figure is a good figure. If you present an awesome piece in front of me, I will buy it. So I think fans, if they want to add to their collection, this is something solid that people are going to love. And
Definitely.
this is unique. And one of the things I've been arguing, I'm probably not going to come out with, mass produced figures. You're probably not going to see 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 figures from this
Right.
line. We
Right.
might only make 10 figures. We might
Right.
make 20. We might make 30.
Right.
The thing is, it's going to be enough figures to make your lineup big enough that to really enjoy, but small enough to the point where you're not going to spend a fortune, buying each individual piece.
For
So
sure.
if you're a completionist, you can buy the whole entire collection and not go bankrupt doing so.
Right. And like, companies like I aforementioned Latuni, who's bringing it and doing some great stuff. Big rubber guys, you know what I'm saying? And then back at the game when I think if they saw big rubber guys in Latuni. Now, this isn't though a market that isn't oversaturated like say the retros, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. You got like 28 companies, like going at it back and forth. I what you got going is selective to the market enough where it should bring the attention, whether it is YouTubers or whatever. But again, I have to highlight the signing of Bastion Booger. I think this is what you needed for this line, and I love it. That's all I gotta,
Appreciate
you
it.
know what I mean? So I feel like when you brought somebody like that, now you got the YouTubers, but you got a legitimate WWE superstar. Now down the line, I know we've talked before, I'm not gonna mention names, but you get a few people in the wheelhouse, you know what I mean? That might be somebody down, the line that's another, legitimate WWE legend superstar. Um what I'm trying to say is, with that being said, how far do you see this line going, or is it dependent on the sales, like of say a Bastion Booger, or a Bone Breaking Action, or a Watty? I mean, I'm sorry, a Damien Riot. You know what I mean? Like, what do you see down the line? Is it dependent on sales, or is it just, you know what I mean? I know it's going to be dependent on sales, but how do you see this line going? Because I can see this personally as like going pretty well, especially honestly when you got the Bone Breaking Action's a great character, but like
Yeah.
Bastion Booger, like everybody knows Bastion Booger. I don't care who
Yeah.
you are. If you watched wrestling in the '90s, Bastion Booger was a standout character. Definitely different and unique, and like a star, and like somebody that you could look at like, wow, like this guy, like not only deserves an LJN. Why isn't the other companies come after him? But you beat them to that. You know what I'm saying? You beat them to that. You beat the companies like BRG. You beat the companies like I love Latuni. Latuni, you got this guy signed, so that's a huge deal. So I guess, like, to make a long question short, like, where do you see this line going?
I mean, it's definitely, I think it definitely surrounds sales, but I don't know, because originally, if we were to base it off of created characters, which I really, honestly, I really want to do that. I really want to have our own created universe. With that, I probably had about 30 or 40 characters that I would, just off the top of my head, where I wanted to create these set of figures. But who is going to buy made believe characters, make believe characters, right?
Right,
And that's the problem. Now, I could probably buy them in bulk, maybe 2,000 figures and sell them for $25
right.
if this line is highly successful. But again, I don't want to do that. I don't want to create make believe characters when we have real life people out there,
Definitely.
actual wrestlers, even in this case, YouTubers. I don't know if we should talk about what you mentioned, brought up to me the other day, but I mean, that would be an option, right? So
Oh, we can
that's
bring.
why I'm like,
Oh, go ahead. I was gonna say, anything we talked about, we can bring up, man.
but, but, uh, but if we stick with the real life people, there are maybe four. There's probably 4 or 5 series realistically that I would probably be comfortable making. That's probably, and that's depends on how successful we can go, because that at 4 series or 5 series, let's say that's 20 figures. And
Right,
I think that's a good number because that means that people who are completionists can get every figure and don't have to break the bank by getting them.
right.
We don't have to look at it as a money grab where you're constantly releasing, where in between series, like in between series 2 and series 3, you're coming out with 3 different variants of bone breaking action.
Hell yeah.
It's like, wait, you just had this figure released in series 1 and now you're in between series 2 and 3 and you got like 3 variants of this. Well, is that a series 2 figure or is that a series 3 figure?
Gotcha.
And then find out, well, it's technically not any series. It's just some random exclusive. Like when with all these other companies that do that, that drives me nuts because I'm a collector. I'm a completionist. I like to have series attached to these things. So
Definitely.
I mean, it's fun collecting. I love picking up figures and everything. I love to see the different variations, but I like to see that series seeing it connected to different series numbers. But that's just me. I have OCDs with certain things, so that right there. but
Sure, man.
but also like I want to go like I want to go crazy with this line. I don't want to just make action figures. We've talked about wrestling rings. We
Yeah.
talked about championship belts,
Totally.
other accessories. Whether that meant adding chairs and maybe some maybe adding like a Lucille Walking Dead reference right there. Um, I still want to get freaking. I want to get Butters made.
Yeah.
Anybody that watches Bone Breaking Action, again, they will understand that reference.
Yeah.
But we
Oh yeah.
BBA has a poster for Butters. Just because that poster alone, that Butters dog needs to be made. And I'm not talking some small, small piece that big. No, if we make a dog accessory, it has to be big. If these figures are 8 inches, I'm
Right.
thinking that thing has to be about 5 or 6 inches at least. It has to be its own individual packaging.
For sure.
So, I mean, it's probably gonna be like a $30 package at that because it's just a dog. But still,
Well,
I want Butters to be
uh,
made.
Zombie. We saw Zombie come out with Larry the dog, which I thought was cool. The proceeds, they go to I think it was the Chicago something dog foundation or whatnot.
Right.
I don't know if I get the name right. But yeah, Butters, like when you watch, if you're a fan of BBA, you know Butters. And if you should know BBA, you should know Butters. Like this is a perfect like idea. I'm an animal lover myself, so I'm gonna be a little partial, you know what I mean? Out of my, but like, you know what I mean? I love that idea. I would love a BBA. I'd love it, with him and Buck, complete thing. But I mean, as him as a separately release, I think that's really cool. And yeah, I'd be looking forward to that, man. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a definite fan of Butters. I love animals. I'm an animal guy. Hell yeah. I mean, like I was even considering buying that silly glow in the dark Larry because I love dogs so much. But I mean, I think for the animal lovers, even that's a good idea. And I think obviously he means so much to BBA. And I think them as a set would be a great idea. And
I think so.
sorry, it warms my heart, damn it. It warms my heart.
Now they got Butters looking like Cujo up on the poster. Now I
I
don't know
love
if we
that
could do
too.
that to Butters on the actual figure itself, but I tell you, man, we gotta make him aggressive on the actual figure too, because that's what made that figure so much fun, or that
Yeah.
poster so much fun, is
Oh,
that aggressive Butters,
definitely.
pitbull like. But you see him in the actual videos. I mean, he's such a fun, lovable dog and everything.
Yeah.
Little baby Butters, and I'm like,
Oh,
but
man.
actual poster, actual figure, man. No, we gotta make him like satanic, demonic Cujo Butters.
Well, they go this way, like a lot of the dogs have been portrayed like sweet. Like you got Winston with like the British dogs. You got, you know what I mean? Like it's cool to actually have a dog that like is gonna like maybe cause some damage. You know what I mean? We
Yeah.
even like I'm gonna dip back to WWE. You saw the kennel. The kennel in the hell match. No,
Mhm.
dogs were around the cage. They were all humping each other. They were all licking. No one no one was fierce. But Butters could be like, if you're good with him, he's sweet. If you're not, he's gonna get you. He's gonna get you.
That is awesome.
That's awesome. What else was I gonna say? So, with this being said, when it comes to the production, what is the amount that you're thinking that will work? I know like Bastion Booger, is it going to be something like you sell a certain amount and there might be more, or is there going to be like a set thing? I know like someone like Bastion Burger will probably have, obviously, not probably,
Yeah.
have a higher ceiling for
Yeah.
sale. I think that one's gonna be money, money. You know what I mean? I think that one's gonna be like something that BRG don't got it. Lat- I love Latuni. Latuni don't got it. You know what I mean? Like Bastion Booger, that's a huge. I can't emphasize how much I think that's like a huge signing. So with that being said, like, is there a differential between like, how many Bastion Boogers per se BBA?
Well, right now the plan is probably I think I'm gonna stick to like 250 on each of these figures. Now, when it comes to Bastion Booger, I have a number in my mind,
Right.
and the number is either gonna be 500 or 1,000.
Yeah.
Now, I do know that if I do sell out of these, sell out of the Bum Shadows figure, sell out
Oh,
of the Bastion Booger figure, people are not going to have to start running to eBay, Mercari, what have you, to buy the figures because I do plan on replenishing.
definitely.
So the factory is going to keep the mold. They have the mold cavities. So I will always be able to go back to the factory. Hey, I want to order a replenishment.
Yeah.
So whether that's 100 more figures, 300 more figures, 700, however many I need to order. Now, if a month later 250 of these sell out, that tells me that this we got a nice high seller. I could probably double it next time, buy 500 of these.
Really.
So, I mean, does that necessarily mean I'm gonna buy 500 more? I might just stick to 200. I might do 75. I don't know. Now, I probably won't do. I'll probably never do less than 100 on a replenishment, just because of the money that's associated with shipping. But I'm always gonna try to have inventory on hand so that buyers will always have something to purchase. I'm also building an actual website right now for Maniac Riot Wrestling, so that's already been paid for. We've already built the .com website, so the web designer, I'm working with him the last few days. Hopefully, that's going to be up over the next couple days, if not sooner. But I'm going to say next week or two. That way, we're not rushing things. An actual Maniac Wrestling website will be up and available. And the goal is when people look at the website, they can sit there and say, okay, there are 500 BBA figures in stock. So if they want to order 10 of them, guess what? They know that there's enough for them to sit there and put in their shopping cart, and they know that they're not going to sell out or whatever. So, but I do plan on ordering a minimum of at least 500 Bastion Booger figures.
Yeah.
Now, because of the royalties associated with this, I obviously have to make sure I order more because the family is going to be paid on the back end as well. So, and like I said at the very beginning, that is another benefit of going through the family and having this character because you're still supporting the wrestler in some capacity, even though he's passed. You're still supporting his family. So, I mean, that's one thing I do got to give credit to Zombie Sailors. I may have may have lost my interest in what they produced action figure wise. I do respect the fact that they are at least giving back to the wrestlers,
For sure.
the announcers, whoever,
Right.
the referees, or at least giving back to the estate, to their families. So
Yeah.
Latuni, same thing. They're giving back to the family. So I think that's been fantastic.
For sure, man. And that's awesome, man. Like, like somebody like Bastion Burger that I don't think got his due respect. He should have got a Hasbro. We all know that. Um, just the fact that somebody that like really not only as Bastion Booger, but we know him as Norman the Lunatic, like this guy had such a career, and it's awesome that not only like somebody like Zombie, he gave back to him too. They made a figure of him. I think Grapplers and Gimmicks is going to do one, a retro, not the LJN, but the
Yeah.
retro. And somebody like yourself is going to give that family like something. If this guy was like such a big, I feel like such a big deal. I mean, like this was like if you watch WWE, WWF like the mid '90s, you got to know Bastion Booger. You know what I'm saying? And to give back to that guy, and I give you respect, and I give Zombie and Hassel respect. To giving this guy something, the Mike Shaw legacy, right? Is it on
Yep.
Instagram? I'm also friends with them on Instagram too. And they gave me support when I made just a clip of this guy. I just made a funny little clip and I tagged them in it and they were like, they added me and everything. Such a like graceful group. and some group that really wants to like give back to the legacy of this guy that gave so much to the business. And
Absolutely.
with that being said, I think you're along with that. So hell yeah to you. And I can't wait to see what's going on. I know, like, myself in it. Like, I love the fact. I thank you, dude. Like, my dream to have a wrestling figure is gonna come through you. You know what I'm saying? And our like friendship or our bond has developed something where I actually have a wrestling figure. So coming from me, I thank you. And
Absolutely.
um, but with that being said, um, what was I gonna say? I forgot. Um, all right, so we got Basher Booger, we got yourself as the devil, we got BBA, we got myself and Peter B. Beautiful. I don't want you to name any names, but I think what I'm trying to say is I know you got stuff in the barrel. I'm not gonna reveal, but like can you elaborate on like the type of talent maybe that you're trying to pursue? I know there's YouTube content, but I mean like as far as like I know that you're going after certain talent. Is
Yeah.
there a is it just sort of like a rhyme or reason, or is there certain characters, or who actually? Let me make a better question. Who would you like to join MRW? That's a better question.
There's definitely specific characters that I covet. Obviously, Bash and Booger is one of those characters that was at the top of my list. A guy like Yokozuna, if I could ever get a guy like Yokozuna to be part of MRW, that would be like a dream.
Oh yeah,
And I'm not, and I need to have like the right size for Yokozuna. Okay, it can't be just some minimal size. Trying to think, like you can't make like a King Kong Bundy. I've seen a lot of people customize King Kong Bundy, and they turn him into Earthquake, or they turn him into Typhoon. Yokozuna, I've seen those customizations. I'm like, even
Peter.
if they look good, they're not. It's not an earthquake, okay? So like
Oh,
that's not what I want. I want a real Yokozuna, and I want to be the person to bring that to life. So Yokozuna would be a dream come true. Um, Nails. I talk about nails would be a godsend. I would love to make nails. I was talking about Series 5 Hasbro. Me and Kirk made a video a couple weeks ago, and Series 5 had a lot of characters I was interested in making. So from that Hasbro line, obviously when you look at Hasbro, because it's characters I grew up watching, I look up and down this lineup, and that's what interests me. So Nails is one I could say. Yokozuna would be another. Looking at Series 5, Virgil.
oh yeah,
Now, Random Treasures made a Virgil, but they made a bodyguard Virgil. They made a Virgil with the arms down. They made a Virgil that's practically a LJN Grand Toys Rick Rude.
yeah,
Yes, Rick Rude is his hands are on the hips, molded to the hips, but I mean it Virgil for Ram Chargers would almost be a 10 out of 10 if it wasn't for the arms being down.
yeah.
The arms being down makes it a 5 out of 10. Otherwise, like I said, it would be a 10 out of 10 for me. But I would like to make a real factory made Virgil figure. Other than that, Skinner. I
Oh
want Skinner.
hell yeah,
So I want a actual factory a Hasbro Series 5 Skinner. The son of a guns beat me to it, but Big Rubber guys are coming out with an actual 90s era Hasbro era Warlord. And
ah,
I'm like, oh, you son of a. I was so mad. I'm so jealous because
yeah,
that has been a dream figure of mine forever. If I didn't have this line of myself, like I would be so grateful to Big Rubber Guys for that because that is exactly the Warlord figure I want. Like I don't. I mean, I'm indifferent to the 1980s Warlord that they've come out with the pants, the Barbarian, the tag team Power Pain. No, Warlord, face mask, staff. That's the one I want. They beat me to it. Jealous. Kudos to them. But man, that's who I would love to have as part of my lineup.
Just a real quick thing. Hey, Destiny, thanks for all the jokes about my eyeball. I appreciate that. You son of a bitch. But anyway, I love all the things you're talking about. Those are like so much like gimmicks. I love Virgil Skinner, all that. Like, what was I gonna what about like I've been looking at some of the and I'm not trying to like say copycat them, but I've been seeing a lot of like the signing on the retro game, the Hasbro game, which is something I collect. Sort of like there's a few Hasbro style Bastion Boogers, but you're gonna be the only one with the LGN style.
Yeah.
Now, like, are there any like characters that you've seen in the recent retro game that don't have LJNs, but you're
Oh
like,
yeah.
well, actually, you put a really mean looking, good looking Sergeant Slaughter. You did a chat GPT on.
Absolutely.
It looked effing sick. Like, is there a possibility of reaching out to Slaughter or General Adnan or even the Sheik or the Sheik's family, rather, because he unfortunately passed
Yeah.
away?
Yeah, there's multiple characters I wanted. Obviously, a lot of the characters that I might be interested in. Um, Just Incredible is an example. So Aldo Montoya, like I talked about wanting to make an Aldo Montoya, and the other reason I want Portuguese Man of War, and I really couldn't even remember him that back in the '90s that well, and I remember his appearance more than anything, more than his actual in ring fighting or anything like that. So I talk about I like the look of the character, the gimmick, the look of the character is very important to me, and I got a lot of slack for that because of his personal life and whatnot. But
Right.
then grapplers and gimmicks and zombie sailors are both making Hasbro style figures of him. I'm like,
Yeah.
mm.
Mm.
I mean, it's a completely different line than what I'm creating, but I'm still jealous because hey, I wanted this guy. That's just a look that I'm looking for this particular line. Like there's a set look that I crave for my line. I want Maniac Riot Wrestling to have this set gimmick or a set like a Papa Shango. Like I want it. I
Oh,
also want like
oh man, that would be great.
I want like I guess a lot of time I want it to be like a dark horror theme look a lot of time too. I think 80s AWA Rat Pack with Ted DiBiase and Matt Bourne and Jim Duggan. I think that would be fun.
Hell yeah.
Problem is Ted DiBiase and Duggan, they've already have original LGNs. Guys like Honky Tonk Man and Greg Valentine, they're still around. These
Yeah,
guys all have original LJNs, so I'm about not wanting to make figures of characters that already have figures made previously.
right.
So that's an issue. But I mean, if the opportunity presented itself, heck yeah, I would jump on it if I could.
Yeah, definitely.
But
Like I was saying, like with the Iron Sheik, but Kama Mustafa, you know what I mean?
yeah,
That would be cool. Like you put that. I love that. I have to go back to it. I love the Slaughter image that you came up with because it wasn't like All American Slaughter. That was the bad guy.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's effing dope. How about? I'm just throwing some characters out there. Maybe like who was I thinking of the other day that I thought would be good? Like, what about like Haskell got him, but like a Man Mountain Rock? He played the guitar and everything. I think that would be really cool. I don't know, like, and he was also Max Payne in WCW. I don't know if
Max,
that's something, but like, there was the other character that I was thinking of.
I mean, there is a Max Moon
No, no, that,
that I crave.
oh, that would be. Oh,
Now
wait a
that's somebody I crave.
whoa, wait a minute, Max Moon. What
Now
about Max?
that's somebody I crave.
What about
Now
Max Moon?
that's now that's somebody I'm interested in.
There we go.
Now now again we're talking about gimmicks and looks, right?
Yeah, Max Moon.
I talked about the Aldo Montoya.
Yeah,
And we're talking about retro guys that were made, and they're coming out with Aldo Montoya. KWK came out with Max Moon. Well, they came out with multiple Max Moons.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, why not get Comet Kid out there? I mean, I don't call him Comet Kid. I didn't know him as Comet Kid. I knew him as Max Moon.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Uh, I'm not going to tell this to him. I'm never going to say this to his face, but he was terrible in promotions, whatever. Terrible on the mic. But I mean, I love the freaking gimmick, man. Like that
Yeah,
whole, I don't know what the heck that was, but I love the outfit, man. That just looks so freaking cool. I mean, even as a kid, I love that. Uh, I would love to make a Max Moon LJN.
yeah, man.
And you know what else? I'm not gonna bring it down, but Giant freaking Gonzalez.
Oh, man.
He and Yokozuna, Bastion Booger, those three I would probably say would probably be on my top. Those are my top three favorite characters to create as LJN, and the fact that Bastion Booger is already checked off the list right off the bat, like that is so freaking exciting. That's why I could not be more thrilled.
I wanted to mention real quick now that you mentioned that, it reminded me. Is there a possibility of a Norman the Lunatic or Friar Ferguson?
I thought about Norman Lunatic. I don't think so. Friar Ferguson, I put up a posting, and a lot of people said they would be interested in buying both variations, but I just don't know. It would be easier if I could reuse the same mold, but I
Right,
don't see that happening. I wouldn't be against making the figure if I knew viewers would be interested in buying it. You know, if
right.
collectors wanted a Friar Ferguson,
Yeah,
I could go to Kevin, be like, "Hey, I need a Friar Ferguson. I don't necessarily have a preference on how it looks. You know, do
yeah,
your magic. Create a figure." And I'm pretty sure he could come out with a splendid figure. Otherwise, you, me, BBA, I'm pretty sure ChatGPT, bam, come up with a perfect design.
for sure.
That LJN, I mean, he came out looking like Fluffy, man. But I mean, when I came out with Bastion Booger, because I wanted him to be modeled after LJ and Kamala. I mean, like I said, he came out looking like Kamala. I mean, came out looking like Fluffy, but I mean, it was a perfect rendition. Kevin, he made a few alterations to the head, hands, added some gloves like that he needed. Obviously, updated the head mold and everything, but that figure is sick. It is so freaking cool.
Definitely,
And
definitely.
so because it's still Mike Shaw, it's still the same guy. One thing I respect from LJN for the most part, outside of Tito a couple times, a few releases of Andre and a few releases of Hogan, you
Mhm,
basically got one character the entire release, the entire line.
definitely.
So that's what I kind of want to do with Maniac Riot Wrestling is release one guy one time. Now,
Yeah, sure.
technically, I am cheating because I am releasing myself a couple of times.
Yeah,
If
that's
I release Damien Riot and then I release what I'm going to classify as Corporal Watson in Series 2 with the
hell yeah.
soldier figure,
And
I'm not going to call him Corporal Matthew Watson. I'm not going to call him Specialist Watson. I'm just going to say, make it very LJN ish. Corporal Kirchner, Corporal Watson.
hell yeah. No, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. That made me like think of like some random guys, but they already have LGN, so I don't know if it makes sense. But like a Nikolai Volkov, but instead in like the Money Incorporated suit where he
Mhm.
had a sign on his tights. I don't know if you remember that,
Yeah,
but
nickel
like,
and dime. I actually have a custom of that.
oh really? Holy crap, that would be sick. What about somebody like does a lot of independent signings? Tatanka. Tatanka would be nice.
Tatanka's still around, is he?
Yeah, yeah,
I
he's
think that would be pretty darn cool. Actually, yeah, he probably is because
yeah,
freaking Grapples and Gimmicks, man, they got a ton of his figures.
yeah, yeah. And Russell Fed signed him too, so like he's still around. He's on like Instagram and Facebook. I think I'm friends with him or whatever, but like I know he's been signing off a lot of stuff too. Or I don't know if he's legal or not. Hassel got him, but Jake the Snake.
You
That
know,
that but
with
I don't
Mattel coming out with Jake in Series 3 of Mattel,
I don't know.
I don't know if that would be a
Some guys
but
are
like you said, Hasto just signed him too, though.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so it's like a lot of there's a what I'm trying to say, I guess there's a lot of people out there and I think like, like down the line, I think Bastion Booger's the perfect first big time signing. Like I can't like explain that enough because he's just great. He's a here and no one's come out with them. Like BRG don't got him. Like I said, like Latuni may be, but like he's a friend of yours. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like Bastion Booger, LJN, everybody that got an LJN collection wants a bat. I don't care. Anyone that has an LJN collection wants a Bastion Booger. That's what I feel like. If you're a
Yeah.
completist or you're someone that wants the LJN form and not just a custom that somebody made, like an official real figure that you're gonna make, like a Bastion Booger, perfect signing, man. Like I gotta tip my effing cap if I had one to you.
Yeah.
But tell you, I'm excited, man. I'm excited for this Bastion Booger. I
I
won't.
guess.
So it's gonna be awesome, man. We got BBA in the house. He said Bastion MF Booger. Hell yeah. Tashanka and a good Jake pose would definitely be great.
You know what I was thinking? Tatanka, like I wasn't even thinking that would be a possibility, but that would be awesome because one of the guys I really wanted for series 2 was, one of the remaining Bushwhackers, Luke.
Yeah,
Obviously, Butch has passed, and that right now that wouldn't be a possibility unless we got with his family.
right.
Um, I wouldn't know how to get in contact with his family, with Butch's family right now. I was hoping to work with Luke first, and maybe he himself could have gotten me in contact with Butch's family.
Yeah,
I have not been able to get in contact with Luke's representative. It's been a week. I reached out to him, and it's been several more days since that follow up. No response. So, like I said, I don't think they were satisfied with my offer, which was basically the offer that Bastion Booger's family, requested of me. So, it was literally the exact same offer.
I'm just
Uh,
I'm just spitballing, but what I know they have the original the OGM, the one man gang, but what about him as Kamala? I mean Kamala, Akeem rather.
I want that would be awesome because that's different from what Big Rubber guys are coming out with
Akeem
because they're coming out with
LG,
another one man gang, and one man gang already exists in original LGN, right? So
you're right,
I
right.
would love to have Akeem as part
Yeah,
of Maniac Riot. Plus, he fits what I'm looking for: big
hell
guy, heavy, husky,
yeah.
great aesthetic look.
I
So
love that.
absolutely. Uh, so that could be another replacement, though. Not necessarily not Akeem, but kind of go back to what you were saying earlier about Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah.
I really wanted Bushwhackers though because I wanted to backtrack to the '89 Grand Toys Bushwhackers release. You
Uh,
never got Bushwhackers with the '89 Grand Toys when you were supposed to. They were supposed to be there.
yeah,
Bad News Brown was supposed to be there. Brother Love, Powers of Pain, Barbarian. You just never got those characters, right?
right.
And obviously Kevin, he made the figures for Random Treasures, and Random Treasures they released all of those characters. So finally, 40 years later, you finally got all of these releases you were supposed to get for Grand Toys in '89, but well, 30 plus years later. But actually, Bad News Brown is another one I kind of want to backtrack to later on. But so getting reaching out to Bushwhacker Luke, I'm like, love it. This is somebody I absolutely wanted to work with because getting him signed and finally getting a legitimate factory made Bushwhacker figure after all of these years and finally giving fans a Bushwhacker figure that they deserve, uh poster packaging the works, that, and you guys know how I am about poses and everything, I'm going to do the right thing and make this figure the right way, right?
Right, right.
And Bad News Brown, same thing. Look at what Big Rubber Guys did with Bad News Brown.
Yeah.
I am not. I was not excited about that. Uh,
Yeah.
XOX Customs, their figure is it's okay. Like I'm not picky about the XOX Customs. The one thing I don't like about that is, yeah, he's famous for this
Yeah.
Diesel. We'll talk about that one too. Diesel does that too.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but
yeah.
Bad News Brown with the one arm up, with like the tag team of the LJN British Bulldogs. I'm not a fan of the whole one arm up poses. So otherwise, it is a serviceable, playable wrestling figure, right? If you're a kid, you can enjoy it. But I would have alternated that play pose a little bit to make it more serviceable for kids for usage. And Big Rubber Guys, I wasn't a fan of what they created.
Yeah.
You look at the retro figure from Zombie Sailors, they did not do Bad News Brown right at all. So if I can do Bad News Ellen myself, and I'm going to make that figure the right way.
Right.
So Bad News Brown, I wouldn't mind having him remade for my line. Yeah, I got it. He's been made already, Big Rubber Guys, but I would make it again for the simple fact that I know I could make it better. And I know I'm tooting my own horn,
Toot,
but
toot.
uh sometimes you gotta believe in yourself, and
Oh,
I feel like
hell yeah.
this right here that's somebody I care about, and that's someone I feel like I could do it justice for.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. I just thought of like I was thinking some just like I was thinking more of the like the retro characters, and this guy comes up because he Damien Demento,
Yeah,
a possibility.
I like the character, I like the freaking look, man.
Yeah,
Why the heck not?
yeah, man. And like I think like I almost think like looking at some of the retro figures that came, they didn't have LJNs. I know like BRG's trying to get them, and Mattel's got their legend contracts. And you know what? Truth be told, I love Latruni. I think they're a great company. If I collected LJNs, I'd have all of them. But like something like that, like characters like Damien Demento, and I'm trying to think off the top of my head, like maybe even a Shane Douglas or something. You know what I mean? Like somebody like that. Like I know he had Dean or the franchise or whatever, but like maybe some of the ECW guys. You know what'd be cool is I don't know what he signed to, but like Bam Bam Bigelow, he'd be effing sick.
Yes, and that darn Bam Bam on my LJN wall is constantly tipping over, even with the stand applied to it. So like,
Yeah,
man, I gotta redo it. I gotta get a new Bam Bam out there anyway.
yeah, man. Sure, that'd be
Plus,
awesome.
Bam Bam, he's like one of my oldest memories as a kid. I mean, not, and I've always said, like, I don't think Bam Bam, I have memories of him originally from wrestling. I think my oldest memory or first memory of Bam Bam Bigelow was from the NES video game. I think WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so like him, Big Boss Man, Andre the Giant, like because I remember him doing cartwheels in the ring for that Nintendo
Yeah.
game, and I think that's my first introduction to Bam Bam Bigelow.
Hell yeah, man.
So like, I'm like that's what used to get me.
I guess my other thing would be like, I know you'd mentioned this before, but like female superstars, like a sensational Sherry or a
Yeah,
Luna Vachon. Oh, Luna Vachon. Ooh, that would be a nice one. Like,
that would be
is
fun.
there any female stars you thinking about maybe reaching out to?
There's none that I have in mind, but the great thing is, working with Peter, he says that there's a number of females that he knows that he could probably get me in contact with. Actually, I would love to work with, and I pointing to, in case nobody knows, I'm actually pointing to the Mattel female wrestlers I'm hanging up on my wall right here. But like I want the female wrestlers that are in WWF right now, or I keep calling it WWF. Well, forget it. It's always gonna
Oh,
be WWF to me.
yeah.
I want the female wrestlers that are in WWF right now, WWE.
Oh,
I want the Liv Morgans and the Charlotte Flairs and the Baileys,
Rhea,
of the world. And
Rhea
I
Ripley,
can never I
yeah.
can never pronounce her name.
Was that?
I always call her Asuke,
Oh,
Ashka. I think you pronounce her name
Oscar.
Asuka.
Yes, yes.
So
Beautiful
Asuke.
lady and a great gimmick.
But
That's my opinion.
that's the type of that's the superstars I want because I like I said I haven't watched wrestling in like a million years since like the late 90s, 97, 98. But I've become familiar with these wrestlers because I've been watching all of these Royal Rumbles. So I've seen them through all of the female Rumbles over the years, through YouTube, and now I'm going back and I'm watching them on Netflix. So I've been watching them in reverse, 25, 24, etc. So now I'm discovering all of them. Uh, Rhea Ripley's become like one of my favorites now.
She's a star.
Uh,
She's a
who's a really strong Shayna Baszler. I think I know I butchered her name
oh,
too, but
crazy. She's a great wrestler.
I think she would be freaking fun as heck to.
Yeah.
You guys know I gotta make China though. If I'm ever gonna have one female wrestler, China would be like the very
Oh,
first one I would ever have to create
yeah.
because she's like my absolute favorite.
Hell yeah.
But
Yeah. She'd be awesome, dude. Holy crap, dude.
like
China,
that's
man. Whew. That would be
uh,
great.
but female wise, that's like my all-star list. Nia Jax.
Yeah,
Freaking love Nia Jax.
yeah. Yeah, no, that would be great. Any of that. Yeah, the female talent's really coming up nowadays. Like, I will say though, like, I know you've had contact with like KWK and anything. Um, what about Bull Nakano? She's got the hell of a look. She's a
Yeah,
big girl.
she's had she's had one through KWK, she's had one through Chella Toys, and I don't think she's had any other releases, so I
Yeah,
mean that's a possibility.
that'd be.
But
Or they got. I think KWK's got. Do you remember Bertha Faye? Very heavy set woman with Harvey Wimpleman.
ooh, I don't remember her with Harvey, but I feel like I've seen her in like a blue singlet way back when.
Yeah, yeah, like heavy set girl, like Caucasian. Yeah, came out with Harvey Wimpleman. What about Harvey Wimpleman actually? Harvey Wimpleman. I love Harvey Wimpleman.
I mean, we talk about managers all the time, like Harvey, Jim Cornette is, a
Yeah.
couple of those
Oh,
guys that come
Jim.
out.
Yeah, holy shit, dude.
So
That
I
would
would
be
like to
the
see those guys made. I would love to see freaking Brother Love made because
oh
again,
yeah,
Brother Love again,
hell yeah,
89 roster supposed to be made, never
yeah,
done outside of Random Treasures
for,
and Print Fury who came together to make that happen. But
for sure.
you don't have those LJNs made from a brick and an actual factory made business, but again, who am I going through? I'm going through Print Fury, Kevin Pelkey, right?
Yeah,
And he gets the opportunity to actually make, again, if I were to sign someone, again, theoretically, if I were to sign a Bruce Pritchard, Brother Love, for the sake of argument, Kevin Pelkey would be designing the figure. So he's already made a Brother Love. Problem is, he would have to redesign a new Brother Love figure because you can't use the same figure that he's already made for Random Treasures, right?
right.
And but man, I'm excited for Series 2 when the time comes because I mean, with that soldier, with the Watty soldier, with the Corporal Watson, as I plan on calling him,
Yeah,
that gives you what I'm classifying as YouTuber number one.
right.
I still have 80s Revolution on the docket for YouTuber number two. So we'll see if that still happens. But right now, that's still the plan to have us two as the two YouTubers,
Yeah.
and Peter Be Beautiful as the indie wrestler.
He's
And
got a look, man. That Peter be beautiful. I was
yeah,
like enjoying trying to design a figure of him, man. I was
yeah,
like, that pink mask is so dope. You know, that like spiked pink mask and just his gimmick. That guy's awesome, man. I actually started looking at matches of his. I'm becoming a fan. I'm becoming a fan.
Plus he's got plus he we might have to do a variant for him though. Because he said that he doesn't want a bloody variant, but you look at his matches and there's just so many bloody so many bloody pictures. I'm like, man, we're gonna have to bloody you up, my dude. He's like, I don't want a bloody figure. I'm like, man, but the bloody figure is what it to me is like it says a million words.
Oh, we got Borowski here in the chat. He said, "Congratulations again to the great Bastion Booger figure, Matt. I get one for sure. I'll get one for sure because in 10 years the figure on eBay will be $3,000. See, hey, he's got a point.
Shoot, man, I would hope so, man.
Hell
That would be incredible.
yeah.
If I do keep replenishing my stock and always have these figures on hand, that may not be necessary, but that would be incredible to see that one day. To see, something that, that I produced or something to be that valuable. That would be amazing.
Oh yeah, man. That's it. Gives everybody, if you're watching, the motivation. Just get up. Goes on eBay. You never know. You know these things are gonna go up like $1,000,000%. So you're better off just going through Watty, Maniac, Riot Wrestling. Just order these figures. Order that Bastion Booger because once Booger's on like eBay, like nobody else got them. So you're gonna pay an arm. So you gotta pre-order them from Watty and Maniac Riot Wrestling. You gotta do it because this save you money in the long run. That's how we see how
Absolutely.
these prices go up. We see Big Rubber Guys Demolition. We see Marty Jannetty. We see all these figures going up, up, up. So at the Watty price, and I'm not saying it, but when it does come to fruition, that's going to be the price you want to pay. You're not going to want to go on eBay and try to find these things because you're going to pay an arm and a leg. And we all know how the business goes, with these BRGs or these whatevers, Latunis and everything skyrockets. So you want to
Absolutely.
get these like right off the bat. You want to get them and you want to get them first because who wants to have them last? You want to be the guy that's like, look, I get the Dasher Burger first. What do you got? You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Yeah, man. For sure. And I appreciate your comment, Barrow.
But man, the question is now though for series 2, if we can't have Luca Bushwhackers, who I really was depending on for the series 2 release. And like I said, man, like that wasn't really like a stable necessary. It was a hopeful representative, but not necessarily a stable representative, right? I reached out to him, but that doesn't mean that they were gonna, accept an offer, right?
Right.
I put my best foot forward, and it was either accepted or declined. And there was no response. I'm going to assume it was declined. Uh, we are where we're at now. That's fine. Maybe again, maybe in the future, maybe we could work together on a future project. It's fine. We'll pivot to someone else. But that Sergeant Slaughter you talked about,
Yeah.
that is exactly what I wanted because of twofold.
Mm-hmm.
I took the original 1987 Hasbro mail away Sergeant Slaughter. I took that design and I turned it into the 1992 turncoat Sergeant Slaughter with that fighting pose. That is to me the perfect wrestling figure. And with that design, that look, that is basically the perfect wrestling figure, perfect wrestling design. And with that mail away pose and everything, it's nostalgia. It's the figure that everyone that is looking for, right? They want that mail away that they want that $400 to $600 mail away figure, but they're not paying $600. Nobody wants to pay that type of money, right?
Hell yeah.
But here's an opportunity to get that great figure, but for a fraction of the cost, and they get a much more improved design with that turncoat
Yeah.
look.
Yeah.
So, and the poster that's going to come with it. I mean, just imagine what the graphics on the front of that card is going to look like for a Sergeant Slaughter,
Oh man,
and the name. I mean, Sergeant Slaughter is a huge freaking name,
hell yeah.
but again, I don't know if I have the financial flexibility to pay him what he's going to be asking, because I'm sure he would cost a fortune.
True, true, but it is welcoming that you see them come with them, and I know like Hassel's and I love them. I love their figures. Established company. However, like it does at least leave the room like he's willing to sign some sort of figure contract. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that oh man, the one you came up with, I was like, dude, I'd have to get like 10 of those. And like I love Slaughter heel when he did that heel turn. It's just something with me, like 91. I just you know what I mean? He was just such an enemy and he was such a badass. Like, and he was on the wrong side of things, but he was such a great F heel after being such a great hero. You know what I mean? Like I love Slaughter and I hope that comes to fruition. Be cool to get an
Absolutely.
add on there too, you know?
And I reached out to him through his Facebook page. Um, at least I hope that was like his official page, and not just, well, no, it wasn't a fan page. It actually was his, because he has his information and he has his daughter information on there as well.
Oh, yeah.
But I reached out, haven't heard back from anyone, so
Yeah.
you know,
It
I guess just wait and see for now.
I will say though, either the design you came up with, people are missing the boat. Like that's a figure that's I mean, that could sell like thousands upon thousands. I mean, that figure that you designed, you personally that
Yeah.
you came up with. I looked at it, I was like, I would want that in a million times a million. Like that would be one. I mean, that's the slaughter that you want. I mean, I love
And
All American Hero. I love GI Joe. I'm a GI Joe fan, but hell, that heel slaughter, such a time.
yeah.
Like fan, sure yours. Like just the time where you're like, damn, I hate this guy, but you love him later. You
The most difficult part, though, is I think I came up with that slaughter design maybe, I don't know, a couple weeks ago,
know?
maybe, I don't know, a week ago, whatever, how long ago it was. And then shortly after, you know, what was it, like maybe a few days ago, when yeah, I think I couple that design maybe 2 weeks ago, and then like 5 days ago, a week ago, whatever it was, uh the Toy Fair and then Big Rubber Guys announces two versions two
Ah.
versions of Sergeant Slaughter that they're releasing. I'm like, dang it! You guys have already released a Sergeant Slaughter. Can we get a piece of the man? Can we
Yeah,
get a piece of the man too?
I know. But you
Uh,
listen to this though. You beat everybody to Bastion. And that's like someone you can picture BRG coming out like,
yeah,
oh, we got Bastions. You beat them too.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like that's effing man.
yeah, man.
You, you
Oh
I
man, but
picture
that, but
them like on their like thing saying, by the way, coming up, Bastion Booger, but you got it first. Like that's effing awesome, dude. For real.
yeah, but Big Sarge, man,
Right,
that right there, that to make that figure, that is a dream figure as well.
sure.
And right off the bat, having Bastion Booger, right off the bat in Series 1 is incredible. To make Sergeant Slaughter, to have that figure for Sergeant Slaughter in Series 2, Series 3, and we don't have to make it right away. I
Right.
mean, I already got my dream figure in Series 1. I'm happy with that. Like, I am beyond ecstatic. So, we just got to keep building off of, you know, this huge bonus, which you know, Peter and the Mike Shaw family has perhaps presented me. So
Yeah. Okay. I was just saying, like, if you look at BRG, like, they came out with Janetti in the Rockers outfit, but they didn't have Shawn
yeah,
Mike. So, like, someone like Bushwhacker Luke, Same deal. I mean, that's like, who doesn't want a bushwhacker Luke, LJN? I take 10 of them again, man. I'm being serious. Like an LJN bushwhacker Luke. Holy excuse my French. Holy crap, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, damn, man. So I just want to say, bro, like, whether it's worth anything or not, I'm effing proud of you, dude. Like, you're
Thank
freaking
you.
bringing it. And, like, I want to say, like, I met you, like, probably midsummer last year, really. I saw your channel. I knew of your channel before that, actually, before I knew you. But, holy crap, the the way that you've come with this, man, like, and I believed in you from the beginning. Like, it's like, uh, damn it, dude, you're doing great, man. You're doing great. Like, try not to blush too much, but you're doing really good. Appreciate that.
I really
I
appreciate it, bud.
believe in your brother, and I appreciate what you're doing. The Bash and Booger thing, holy crap! And I just only see it going upward from here.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, for sure. I hate to do this, but the battery's running low, brother.
All right, man. It was an awesome live stream. I really appreciate you having me on, man. This was
No,
so much fun.
I appreciate coming on, man. Long overdue. You were the one that brought me on for the live streaming. You know, gracious enough to bring me on as a guest and like get me used to this whole live stream thing. So hell yeah, brother. I appreciate you.
And thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be sure to share this live stream on my channel and on my Facebook, man, because definitely want to try and make sure that your channel is seen. And this, like I said, this was so much fun, man.
No,
Uh,
definitely, man. I always love talking to you, brother. I know it's been a while. I just been trying to get my game on this live stream because it's been a little bit for me to get used to. I'm not like used to this being on live, but I'm pretty comfortable. And I will say I'm comfortable with talking to you, obviously, like,
yeah,
which is awesome. And like, maybe down the line, who knows? Like, I'll go on maybe I can go on your show. Maybe we can, switch it up. You can come on
yeah,
here, kind of just, do our deal or whatever, man. And hell
sounds
yeah,
good.
man. Appreciate you. Thank you for making a figure of Bum Shadows. I definitely appreciate it. If I haven't said it enough, it's like a dream effing come true, man. Like,
Hell yeah,
so hell yeah, dude. We'll always be in contact, brother. You know that. And
always, man.
hell yeah, I appreciate you coming on. And I look forward to what you got coming. What you got coming up.
Awesome, man.
'Cause I know you got it, and you're gonna get this successful. I always believe in you, brother.
Awesome. Really appreciate it, man.
Hell yeah! All right,
Thank
well, this has been Bum Shadows with my awesome special guest, my man Watty, aka Damien Riot from Watty's channel. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, every single thing on this man's channel. He's got the hell ass content. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna see it. He did a stream earlier that I watched with Kurt's Corner. Go check that out. Go subscribe to him. Go like everything he does because this is a man on the rise, and this is going to be somebody that's going to be, and that not only he's the already, but it's going to be very important in this wrestling figure game. So if you're a wrestling figure fan, retro or whatever, get on this now, get on the train early, you know what I'm saying? So hell yeah. Love you, dude. And I'll catch you later. And everybody else, this has been Bum Shadows with my man, Watty, aka Damien Riot. And what I want to say is a little bit like keep bumming.
Take care, everybody.